Hello and welcome everyone. Hope you're doing well today. Today I'm here with my good friend Robin. Hi, welcome Robin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, when Jeanette told me that you're an entrepreneur and had some multiple businesses, I was really looking forward to this interview. So thanks for opening up your day for me.
Hey, no problem. I know that I changed the time, but you got to write stuff down and it be organized sometimes. And I was not on it, but I'm glad that we got a chance to talk.
COVID's kind of whacked everybody on a schedule, so I definitely feel the same.
Is it Sunday today? Because I didn't know.
I don't know. It feels like a Monday, but
When you asked me the what time zone, I was like, I don't know. I had to ask Google. Like nobody's ever asked me what time zone I'm in.
Thank God for Google.
I know. Google knows everything. Probably knows what we're talking about right now.
AI. So for our audience, Robin is a serial entrepreneur with 2 bachelor's and a master's degree and a whole bunch of businesses such as photography and consulting. She loves birdwatching, nature, and listening to other stories. Further not, what's your definition of leadership?
That definition of leadership is somebody that can transform. And so I would just say somebody that's transparent and can transform, because leadership is creating change. So if anybody is in that position, then they need to be able to create change, be transparent, and then also understand people.
I love how you said transformation. It's so interesting. Like when many people get into some leadership role, like nothing ever changes, and then they expect the organization to grow, but like that requires change. It's kind of like an oxymoron,
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like if you don't understand who you're leading, then you shouldn't be in a leadership position. Period. So
I agree.
you said, we're in the people game, and you got to understand what people need and want. Because we spend 90% of our time at work. So why not understand who works for you? I think it's really, but it's hard when change is hard.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how society perceives change. No matter what we do, change is inevitable, but like people are so resistant to change. It's like, it doesn't work that way,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
What are some common leadership mistakes?
Oh my God. Not knowing who works for you. So I got a quick story. I was thinking about this before we got on the call. But so when I was working on my master's, I decided, I was like, I'm going to take a bunch of different jobs so I can understand, people at work, because that's the main thing for industrial organizational psychology. So the post office popped up. I said, oh, I want to change the face of the post office. I want everybody to be happy at work. So I get the job. And immediately when you hire in, you're just filling in for the main person that has the route, right? So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I can do that. So I go into the training. The lady reads the training book. She's like this literally for 2 days. Only thing I got out of it was how to parallel park. I can parallel park better. So I get to the facility, and the supervisors introduced me to this woman named Holly. Holly's got her headphones in. She's doing this, as they call it, case in the mail. And so they already gave me like the disclaimer, like, Holly's real. Oh, she's this, that. I was like, oh, I definitely want to work with her, because she's probably the complete opposite. So they walked me over to her and like tap her on her shoulder, and they're like, hey, this is Robin. She's going to be filling in for you. So she like waited a minute, finally took her little headphones out and rolled her eyes, turned around, and then turned back like, okay, and put them back in and kept working. So I'm just standing there like, oh, okay, this is going to be a challenge for me, but I love it. So we go ahead and we go out. Now, this is during the vortex. This is like 2015, I think. The vortex, you got 12, 15, 16 inches of snow outside or whatever, so and Amazon was big back. It's around Christmas time, packages everywhere. So we go get in the mail truck. I'm literally sitting in this tiny little space with boxes all around me. But she's not talking to me though. But every single customer that she came across, she got a gift card. She was handing out dog treats. They were like, "What's up, Holly? How you doing? Oh my God, you're so great." And I'm thinking like, well, why do they think she's so bad? So she didn't talk to me the whole day. So after I leave, I stop in the postmaster's office and I say, I noticed something. You want people to take a break when's the last time you had a pop? RC cola. There was a RC cola pop thingy or whatever in the break room. The lights didn't work, old microwave. And there was like a broke down vending machine. I said, and you want people to eat in there? And so my thing was like the back of the post office doesn't look like the front, but they need the back in order for the front to run. That's how I put it to her. And I walked out the office. So a long story short is, after 2 times of working with Holly, she really never talked to me. She didn't show me there's a recipe to deliver in the mail, believe it or not. Like, you just can't go in there and put it in the bag and be good. You have to really understand there's just one little formula. So now it's my turn to go by myself. I get there at 5 a.m. The supervisors have their legs kicked up on the desk. And there's a lot of mail. There was over almost 600 customers. And so I get there at 5. Now it's going on like 3. I still haven't left the post office. So I said, at what point do we leave the post office to deliver this damn mail? Because I haven't left yet. It gets dark at 5. So they got their feet kicked up, reading the paper, gossiping, whatever. And they never, one time asked me if I needed help or anything. So, so I go out there at 4 o'clock, come back. I'm back at 7 with half the mail still because I didn't deliver it. So before I left, I said, I need to know the plays to this game here. I like to win. And nobody has told me how to deliver this mail. So I said, I want to work with Holly again, and I need 2 weeks. So I went back and she showed me like 3 things. So I went back out and delivered the mail and then I quit. But before I quit, they were fixing up the back of the post office and they were redoing the break room. So I was like, oh, okay, I created change. But my whole point of the whole story is terrible leadership when you have to give somebody new coming into the scene a disclaimer about somebody that they're supervising. You know what I mean? So it just kind of, that's my example of bad leadership. And the postmaster said, I just come in and I punch the clock, but I said, you got to understand who you're working with. People work hard every day. They should have a nice place to eat that's clean, that you can turn the light on and maybe put your lunch in the refrigerator. So that's my example.
There's a lot of common mistakes.
Yeah, it was a whole project. And I never got to change the way, they deliver anything there. And they're still having problems. I mean, you don't have any benefits. You're on call. How are you?
Really? That sucks.
Yeah, no, it was like $15 an hour and you don't know when you're ever going to work.
Damn, that's rough.
For me.
Damn, sounds of our society too.
I was like pissed off and I was like, yeah, and I quit. So see ya.
It's good that you quit that place real quick. A lot of people would have stayed there for years.
Oh hell, I can't do it. Like I probably would have died already because I got to be. I got energy like that. Literally, it's so this, and this all the time. I'm like, it was awful. I couldn't even make it fun. So
I don't think this is all that you could have.
No, but that's my story.
I know you take a lot of photos, and I've seen some of your photos are beautiful. What are some common mistakes when people take photographs?
Angle. I think it's the angle. Like if you have an entrepreneur that's trying to, let's just say, launch the makeup line, you can't use a cell phone. You have to use a real camera. You know what I mean? So I think it's angle, and I think it's what you're taking a picture of. So angle and clarity. Sometimes I look at the pictures like, oh my God, it's just terrible. I suggest every entrepreneur invest in an inexpensive camera, just so they can get you can't have a photographer there every time you have somebody's face, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
you gotta just invest in a little camera and learn angles and settings.
So you don't recommend like using the new iPhones? Because I know a lot of people have those now.
So the iPhones are great, but when you take an iPhone and a camera and like, let's say you're putting content on your website,
yeah,
you can tell the difference. Like you want be way, yeah. The iPhones, I got an iPhone, but it's not it has nothing to do with my camera. It's two different things. So
I gotcha.
use a camera, like especially when it comes to your website, you want to use a camera to put your stuff on there. So it's nice and clear and not fuzzy.
That's good to hear because I bought a camera just for these interviews, but I haven't been able to use because of COVID. And it doesn't
Oh,
have like the right audio connections. It's like, man, what am I gonna actually use this?
oh
It's like,
man.
that's good to hear I can still use it.
Yes, use the camera. You'll get out there one day.
How does one establish brand identity through their photography?
Um, well, one is knowing what you're branding. If you don't know if you don't understand like your brand, then you got to understand what you're branding. That is the key, and that's what I do with clients is ask them a series of questions like, what is the shoot for? It's easy to go out and shoot a bunch of pictures, but what are you gonna put, what caption
Mm,
are you gonna put with the pictures? So if you're a speaker, then you need to be, people like to know processes. So, if you're a speaker, what is your mindset when you get up? Do you have a cup of coffee? Do you think of stuff while you're in the shower? Like what's your day-to-day things? And I'm not saying we're taking pictures while you're in the shower, but I'm saying if you're having a cup of coffee at the table, that's a post. People, oh, okay, they have coffee in the morning. Well, maybe I'll start having coffee in the morning before I speak or whatever. So it's just really understanding your brand and then knowing what you're going to use the pictures for. That's the hardest thing. I have a client right now that I'm going to do their branding and marketing and all of that. And I asked them 10 questions and haven't heard, they paid, haven't heard back because I asked, what's the goal of what's the goal for social media? What do you want people
mm.
to do? They're like, oh, I never thought about that. Like, well, you should, you got to think about what you're branding because somebody can be a hairstylist, but if you have pictures of food, I don't know if you're a chef or a hairstylist. So just understanding your brand, knowing the whys. And I actually got a boot camp coming up. Jeanette and I do.
I do. When?
Yeah, so we're working on the framework and all of that. Because it's a lot, but
Mm.
you want people to walk away with something. So just understanding the brand and then knowing how to put it out there. I think those are the two biggest battles.
Sign me up for that. I'm
I'm
ready
gonna,
to go. Yeah, one client right here.
I'm gonna tell Jeanette.
What do you see organizations make mistakes in their marketing?
By not getting feedback from the client. So, for example, I am trying to get Autograph Collection, Marriott, to be a client subliminally. I haven't reached out to them yet, but so whenever I stay at an Autograph Collection, I take pictures. Anywhere I go, I always take pictures of the hotel and I feature them on my Instagram page and I tag the crap out of them till they say yes. And so finally, I just stayed at an Autograph Collection in Anna Marie, Florida. And I took, obviously I was bird watching, beautiful pelicans, blue herons. And I was just sitting in this one seat and got amazing pictures of these birds. But amazing pictures of the hotel at night and all this different kind of stuff. And they finally reached out, like, can we use some of these pictures on our page? Of course you can. It's part of my plan. So I think companies make a mistake by not getting the point of view from the customer because you want to see my vacation. You want to see the vacation through your customer's eyes. So they posted on their page. I had several people say, where is that? And so, people are going out there to visit and that's what you want. So I think that's their common mistake. And then just
Got-
not being unique, just having the sleepy, boring, stock photos. Nobody wants those stock photos. If you feature like photographers or entrepreneurs on your business page, it's going to create kind of like a competition, but not really. You know what I mean? So
mm.
yeah, that's their mistake. They need to, an Autograph Collection needs to just go ahead and call me. Because I'm going to one next week. I'm going to do the same thing.
What's an autograph collection?
Like a resorty style Marriott, like a
Oh,
boutique bougie.
oh,
I
that
mean,
sounds like fun.
the resort was it was a 2-bedroom condo, full kitchen, all that stuff. So it was really, really nice. Oh, I see your son's
Yeah, my phone's like coming through the window. I'm like, oh man.
What a horrible problem you have.
I know.
I don't feel sorry for you.
What can organizations do to improve their efforts in fundraising, such as if they have an event?
Man, that's such a loaded question, but they should call me is what they should do. Fundraising, giving money is like an emotional. So if the organization has a great mission and a tight program, people will give. People give based off how they feel. You know what I mean? If you have the relationships, then you'll be able to. But fundraising, there's so much competition out there. You just have to be unique and stick to your style and know what that style is. And then they just call me. Because there's 1,000 ways to skin cats, you know what I mean? And they don't know the 1,000 ways. And like I've helped several nonprofits, just sitting down and saying, okay, well, I can see 17 problems right here. And sometimes you don't see it because you're in it. You know what I mean? And then the fresh set of eyes comes and tells you you're horrible. But no, I'm just kidding. But seriously, like you have to just be unique, and your mission and your program have to be tight for people to give.
I know you also facilitate change within organizations. How do you achieve this? I mean, it's a lot easier said than done.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. Everybody knows what goal they want. They just don't know how to get there. They know they want the grass on the other side and all of it, but they don't know how to get there. So, I go in and I use Kurt Lewin's philosophies. He was a psychologist, and it's unfreeze, change, and refreeze, which is basically the unfreeze is taking all the problems and saying, okay, here's what we have. Now, what are we going to do? So taking those problems and creating a plan, getting everybody on board. But once you do that, people can see like, oh, you're right. And an example I use a lot is the bank. Remember back in the day when we had to go to the bank? When's the last time you've been to the bank?
Been months. It's probably like last year.
I haven't been to the bank in 3 years.
That's a long time.
I opened a business 3 years ago. I went to the bank to give them my paperwork. Well, now you don't even have to go to the bank to do that. But like, I think about the person that thought of, you know what, we need an ATM machine. This is ridiculous. Everybody can't go to the bank. We need a checkbook. Oh, we need online banking. We need an app. Like all those people recognize the issue that we got to make things easier for our clients. What if they get old? They can't come to the bank. They need to be able to navigate. And then if they are 80, they need to know how to navigate the banking system online. So I know the people that worked in the bank were not ready for all of that, because essentially people aren't going to the bank anymore. Hardly ever. I mean, if I haven't been 3 years, like go to the bank. What does that mean? And go get cash, but that's the thing, like that change from people coming in, seeing people every day to talking to them on the telephone or virtually, typing online. That's the change. Like they recognize that. So you unfreeze it. So that's what they did with banking. And then they made the change. They implemented it. And then they froze it. There's a refreeze. It is easier said than done, but if you stay consistent, then people start getting on board. And then you have to shush the naysayers and the gossipers and the rumor starters and just say, look, like these things have to happen in order for us to move. Because if a company doesn't change, listen to taxis. When's the last time you saw a taxi? There's no taxis.
It's called Uber. Does count?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. The taxi, they did not get on board with none of this at all. They could have created an app, brought their prices down just a little bit, and been in the game. But they're you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, they're getting destroyed.
They weren't ready because somebody was probably not ready to change. Because who was first? Uber.
I think it was Lyft actually.
Okay, yeah, and then Uber came. Same thing with like Google, and then AT&T search or whatever it is. Like, you just gotta reinvent the wheel. Just name it a different name. I feel bad for the taxi service, man.
Yeah, they get hit pretty hard. Actually, in Europe, I think they still have a lot of taxis.
Yeah, well, and also in Tennessee, my parents just went to Tennessee. They got stuck there for like 4 days. First
Mhm.
time they traveled in a year. You know, they got vaccinated. They're like, we're out of here. We're going to Florida. And they got stuck in the ice storm for 4 days.
Mhm.
But and my mom's never used an Uber before. And she said she downloaded Uber and there was no Ubers, but there were taxis. The taxis were lined up and they charged them $30 to go 1 mile.
Dang, that's a lot. $30.
Yeah, 1 mile. Yeah. So
What are some good photography resources?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Like I teach photography and I didn't know anything about they were like, do you teach photography? I was like, absolutely. No, I don't know. I learned when my lessons every week were like so I could learn how to work the dang camera. I've had cameras for years. I just didn't really know how to work them. Like understand the settings and the f-stop and the ISO and all that stuff. Um and I just use YouTube. But I teach, that's what I teach my students. And every week I would learn. I'm like, shut up. That's what that does. They didn't know that I was learning too, but I was teaching it and learning at the same time.
There you
So
have it. YouTube University, everybody. Solves all your
YouTube,
problems.
yes, YouTube, and I looked up a curriculum, so I had that. But like
Mhm.
YouTube, I did buy Joel Grimes' masterclass.
Mhm.
I ain't even watched it fully yet, but you know, a lot of times they're selling you stuff at first. I'm like, just let's get to the lighting part. What about lighting? But I wind up just figuring it out. You got to
Nice.
practice. Yeah, it's like golf. It's a
Actually, getting to golf, it's not easy. It looks really easy, but it's not.
photography is just like everybody's got the nice gear, you know, golf, they got the nice golf clubs. You look good, you got everything, but you can't figure it out. It's that one little thing would change everything.
Yeah, definitely. And last question, where can our viewers learn more about you? And do you have any programs or any events coming up?
Just the boot camp, which that's probably going to be more towards the end of the summer, by
Mhm.
the time we get everything together. But they can call me.
Sounds great. I'll go ahead and put your contact info in the drop down box below. And then, yeah.
All right, cool.
All right. Thanks again, Robin. I did enjoy our time talking about photography and business. To our viewers, hope you guys stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, see ya.
Take care.
All right, thanks.